has on now.
Oh, okay.
She's never done that.
All right. One last thing I wanted to get to before we got to the little topics of the show on the Ryan Stewart Show here on the 2 Live Stews Radio Network. You know that the pictures that I posted on Facebook of the chupacabra-looking thing?
I don't even know what that is.
A lot of people say it's a dog with mange.
I'm ashamed of that post.
A wolf with mange.
I'm ashamed of that post.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
You know it got picked up by the news in South Carolina.
By the news.
And so they had this big story about it on the news. And that post, man, has gotten over 1,200 shares.
Right.
The reason I wanted to mention it to you and let you talk about it.
It's crazy, man.
A lot of people think that I made it up.
No.
Like those pictures aren't real. You were there. We were in the same golf group together. We were in the same cart. You saw it first.
You were standing over your shot, and I looked down the fairway because you were looking at your ball. And I go, hey, man, it was about 170, 185 yards away, somewhere between that number.
Right.
I said, hey, man, is that a damn fox going across the fairway?
And I said, that ain't no damn fox.
Right. You said, no way, that's a damn fox.
Right.
So you hit your ball, and coincidentally enough, the fox was already across the fairway to the left, already onto the next fairway.
Right.
So going to get your ball that was on the next fairway was appropriate already anyway. See, that went over your head, but other golfers caught that.
I got you.
Other golfers caught that.
I got you.
So we drive up to your ball, and we look at this thing again, and you start pulling the camera out, and this thing looked at us like, okay, you know what? Yeah, y'all keep on coming closer, and I'm going to attack y'all in a way y'all have never seen before.
Right. Now, footnote, you don't know this because you don't know anything about the legend of the chupacabra.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Which this thing looks like.
Okay.
So the chupacabra is this thing that looks exactly like this thing I took the pictures of that allegedly sucks the blood dry out of cows and goats.
Listen, man.
And so I was hesitant to even try to take a picture because if it was the great chupacabra, we'd have been dead men.
But to follow up with what you just said, the thing was turning towards us every place the cart moved. It didn't run away. It wasn't scared. It wasn't startled. It had big balls.
Right.
Okay? And it stood there like, yeah, y'all think y'all sizing me up, but I'm actually sizing y'all up.
Right. Like any second it was about to launch at our
and then attack us.
Like a vampire dog chupacabra.
So maybe it was one of those super cobra things that you were talking about. Maybe it is one of those.
Yeah. It was crazy, man. 12. Like, I posted a lot of stuff, and we use the show and social media to promote stuff.
You've never posted anything that has drawn that much attention, man.
The most I've got something, shared is, 25 times.
Right.
1,200 shares.
Yeah, that's a lot. So if it's 1,200 shares, and each person that shared it those 1,200 times have 100 likes or comments about it, just do the math, man.
Yeah.
It's a ridiculous amount of people making comments about that Kabasa Stiga.
It's chupacabra, man.
That's
Look
what
it
I
up.
just said.
Look it up.
That's what I just said.
You are listening to the Ryan Stewart Show. Subject number 1. Jay Cutler gets a job, man. And Jay Cutler gets a job, man, playing for the Miami Dolphins. Quarterback for the Miami Dolphins as Ryan Tannehill gets hurt. Colin Kaepernick does not. Your thoughts, sir?
Here's how you throw me into the bus. Throw me into the fire off the top of the show, right?
No.
Yeah, this is a conspiracy. I know what's going on here. Let's just get straight into that. All the other topics that we've talked about. Let's just get straight into that.
Nah. This was kind of, we rank these stories in as far as relevance. This was probably the biggest story of the week.
You know how I feel about Jay Cutler? No one dislikes him more than me. No one. From the time at Vanderbilt when he was in college and everybody was telling us how great he was, and I'm like, his numbers are mediocre at best. You know, if he's that good, why didn't he win the SEC at Vanderbilt?
Right.
Quarterbacks have done that. T. Martin did it in Tennessee. Y'all don't suck his jock like you suck Jay Cutler's jock.
That sounds kind of inappropriate.
Well, it's the truth, though.
Even for internet radio.
I didn't curse.
Right.
I didn't say the D word. So, you know how I feel about Jay Cutler.
Right.
That all being said, man, the kid has got a long arm. He can make all the throws. He just hadn't made them properly.
Like a long arm, like Plastic Man?
Well, yes, he can complete every throw.
Right.
So I understand them wanting to give him the opportunity.
Okay.
Not more so than Colin Kaepernick, though.
Right.
If I was the person making the football decision for the team, there's no way I give it to Cutler over Kaepernick. No way.
So most of y'all that are listening right now know your thoughts about this whole Kaepernick story. We talked about it the last couple of weeks. You played in the NFL for 5 years for people that don't know. Mm-hmm. You know how this thing works.
Yes.
The thing that really was disheartening to me is that they didn't even bring him in for a workout.
Right.
Like, is that strange to you? They need a quarterback. Colin Kaepernick is available. He threw 16 touchdowns, 4 interceptions last year. Jay Cutler retired. They basically bribed this man to come out of retirement to play football. He wouldn't go play football.
$10 million for 1 year, man.
And they didn't even bring Colin Kaepernick in for a workout.
Jay Cutler's made over $100 million, and not 1 year of his NFL career has he been worth $10 million. Not one.
So what does that say to you? They don't even bring dude in for a workout.
Look, man, I think that there's a handful of teams that he would really fit for, okay? And I think there's a handful of owners that won't touch him because of the bottom line. Yeah, and it's a football decision, man. Sometimes, okay, I know how blatantly in your face this is a black and white situation, okay?
Right.
But at the same time, me being who I am and coming from where I come from, I also see the bottom line of the conversation as well.
Right.
These cats are still businessmen, man, that's all. So I think that more so than Kaepernick not having a job because he's black, I think it's him not having a job because of what he's done and who is pissed off and offended. So the Dolphins owners had a black quarterback before. He has. He has. Right. A couple of them, as a matter of fact.
Right.
Culpepper was one of them. There's been a couple of backups.
Well, we know it's not because he's black.
Okay.
It's because of the stance.
It's because of the stance.
Right.
And the stance.
Which the stance, by the way, is right.
I agree.
Right.
But the stance is what's cutting his bottom line.
Right.
The stance is what could possibly cut his bottom line. That's all.
Right.
So, unfortunately, the 5 or 6 teams that would make a great fit for Colin Kaepernick, they have starting quarterbacks and they have backup quarterbacks. So, there's all 32 teams, they're going to want him anyway because he's been to the Super Bowl. That's not the case.
Right.
There's still only, if he never knelt down, there would still only be 5 to 8 teams that would want him anyway. Maybe 5 to 8.
Right. So that's something I said earlier.
And those 5 to 8 don't want him or need him right now.
Right.
So every team that needs a quarterback, everybody's saying, oh, they should get Kaepernick. They wouldn't have got him if he never had this situation anyway. It's on the scale, too. We got to keep that in mind. And people are overlooking that. Every starting quarterback can't start for all 32 teams. No, sir. No, sir.
Right, but the bottom third of the starting quarterbacks in the NFL suck.
I agree.
You agree with that?
I agree.
And he's better than every single backup.
I agree. I agree.
Each team has probably 2 backups. That's 64 backups.
Don't even name the backups to me. Yes, I agree with that comment.
Right.
But, okay, it's been Baltimore and it's been Miami that's blatantly in our face.
Right.
Maybe there's a reason why Baltimore and Miami wouldn't have him anyway, which is the problem with Baltimore because Baltimore came out and said, oh, we love the player. But just because they love the player doesn't mean they're going to sign the player. And that's just the business of it. So now we've got this underlying fact, this common denominator of all of this, where he's kneeling down during the national anthem, and that's disrespectful to the flag. So that's why they're not signing him. Oh, okay, yeah, that's a percentage. Yes, that's got something to do with it. But it's still also the aspect of this being a business, too.
You're listening to the Ryan Stewart Show on the TwoLiveStewsRadio.com.
And for everybody else who didn't hear me during the handoff of your show, just as much as you like watching the football, the NFL, which is why you're not going to give it up, instead of you taking a protest to not watch it, just as much as you like it, the cats that play it.
That's actually not accurate.
Well,
go ahead.
The cats that play it, the cats that coach it, who happen to look just like you and who happen to agree with you 100% totality of your stance with Kaepernick, they feel just like you do. They like the NFL just as much as you do, and they get fed by it.
Okay, let's stop right there. My comments about that really were directed towards the players' union. And the players' union not speaking up for this guy where clearly he's being blackballed. Clearly, the owners, in some form or fashion, to what degree I don't know, are colluding to not giving this guy a job.
Based upon
is it not the position of the players' union to look out for their union members?
I agree.
Okay?
And
they haven't said anything. That's the point. And that's the difference between the players doing something or not doing something because they're trying to protect their livelihood and me, a guy watching the game. That's the difference.
Okay, so their job is to protect said players that you mentioned.
Including Colin Kaepernick.
He's a player.
Right.
But he's also one player of How many thousand?
Okay.
How many hundred?
Okay, but he's won.
He's won. Yes, he's won.
And the union in the past, they have set a precedent for looking out for players that have gotten in on the wrong side of the league.
Okay.
Okay, they speak about Greg Hardy. Anybody that's done anything wrong, they still defend them and their right to play.
There's no need to even go down the laundry list of things that have been done wrong by former players.
That's the difference, right?
Yes.
That's the difference.
Yes.
Right.
Okay, so.
And they're quiet as church mouse with Colin Kaepernick, which is clearly he's getting blackballed.
Do you know how many battles the NFLPA fights for said players, current and former, such as myself, that you never even hear about?
I'm sure a lot.
Okay.
Right.
All right. I'm just saying, man.
So does this fall at the bottom of that list? Where they don't even talk about it or bring it up at all? Damari Smith hadn't said or made a statement at all about it?
I'm not putting nowhere near the bottom of the list because it's actually at the top of the list because of what's going on.
Right.
It's been being talked about for a month, Doug. But I just think that people are overlooking the whole business aspect and economic aspect of the decisions that these people are making. That's all.
I get it.
That's all.
Let me ask you this question.
I mean, but again, let's go back to this real quick. You're so in favor, everybody that's in favor of Colin Kaepernick's protest, like me, because I am in favor of that, I'm not supposed to watch the NFL? Is that what I'm supposed to do to show that I'm really backing up Colin Kaepernick?
Well, I don't know if you listened fully, but
I heard part of it, the first part of your story.
I'm saying that I wouldn't boycott the NFL.
I know you said that.
Because I don't think it's doing any good.
Okay.
And all it's doing at the end of the day is hurting yourself.
But you're going to boycott people that sponsor the NFL.
Right. Sponsors.
So what happens when you get this list of sponsors that you're waiting on, or look this list of sponsors up? What happens when the vehicles that you own are owned by one of the sponsors?
Well, I think that's an extreme.
Oh, okay.
I can't stop driving my car.
So you get to draw the line of what's extreme or not.
Okay, all right.
Is that what you get to do?
Hey, man, anything that I could possibly boycott to show support for Colin Kaepernick, I will.
Okay. What about Apple? What if Apple is a sponsor of the NFL? You gonna boycott Apple and not use what your whole system is ran through it right now? Is that what you're gonna do?
But Ryan,
who gets to draw the damn line at what is right or wrong is what I'm asking you, Dougie.
I think you can be sensible about this.
No.
Like I can't.
No, but you. You and I can be sensible about this right now. But Colin Kaepernick, who passed up on $14 million. And is being scrutinized for what he's doing and not getting the job, that doesn't need to be thought about? Yeah, there's cause and effect. There's ramifications to our decisions. Mm-hmm. And what Colin Kaepernick is doing is a big part of why this is happening. It is. Yeah. So what's the right protest? You kept saying the players' union and the players don't understand their strength.
Well, let me ask you.
Are you crazy? What do you mean we don't understand our strength?
No, you don't.
But
let me ask you a question.
What would you have them do? What would you have the players do?
I explained that. That's another part of the show that you missed right before the Ryan Stewart Show.
Right.
If they did something in solidarity, I don't know whether it's to wear some piece of material talking about supporting Colin Kaepernick, hold hands before the game. Right. In a public display of unity, I think that it would start some conversation,
I agree.
Which might lead to Colin Kaepernick. But bottom line is the players have to do something first. So you mean to tell me if they were to do something, just say they all got on one knee.
And they still might.
Right. Mm-hmm. Let's say that all of the black players and the white players, I agree.
I agree with you wholeheartedly.
Okay.
This is not a black and white player situation.
Right.
This is a player situation.
It's a right and wrong situation and a player situation.
I agree.
So you mean to tell me if the players in unison, all at the beginning of each game, did what Colin Kaepernick did and kneeled down for the national anthem, which again, the cause is just.
Right.
You think what are they going to do? They're going to cut all of the players?
Right.
You think they would fire all of the players?
So what's the problem?
They would be in the doghouse? That's not going to happen.
What's the problem with you seeing that there's some players, white and or black, that don't want to kneel during the anthem? What's the problem with you seeing that? What's the problem with you not seeing that police brutality and the social injustices that we all deal with is something that was happening before the NFL started?
Yeah.
So how come players? Why didn't Deion Sanders and those guys do what you're asking the players that are playing now? How come they didn't do this?
Right.
Niggas was getting killed back then too.
Right. I mentioned this earlier too. Over the last couple of years have been glaringly blatant.
I agree.
The fact that we're catching a lot of the stuff on videotape.
It's been.
And wait a minute. Let me remind you.
It's been blatant for centuries though, Doug.
Right. Let me remind you.
I'm listening.
Him protesting what's been going on in this country for the last couple of years is right. He didn't protest in a violent manner.
I agree.
He took a knee.
All right, I agree.
We getting ahead of ourselves.
Okay.
We keep forgetting when you say stuff like that. It's almost like you're forgetting.
I'm not forgetting nothing.
What he's doing is just.
I'm not forgetting nothing. It's just.
It's not wrong.
Right, it is just.